Hey everybody, Jim here from the Soul of the Unexplained, and today is the 10th of January, 2024, and I don't know about the rest of you, but it still seems awful weird to be saying 2024. I can't believe we're actually here in 2024. Crazy times. Anyhow, folks, this is going to be the first here on the Soul of the Unexplained YouTube channel of a series of shorter videos than our usual 90-minute or 2-hour videos, full episodes, if you will. These are going to be smaller little clips that Roger and I are going to be doing throughout the year, just kind of recapping what some of the current highlights are in the world of the unexplained, and specifically with things like UAPs, UFOs, Skinwalker Ranch, things of that sort. So today, being January 10th, there has been no shortage of things to talk about. And so I'm going to just cover a couple of things that are worth taking note of for those of you that may not be aware. And the first of which actually began on New Year's Day of 2024, January 1st, 2024. I'm sure many of you have heard about this incident that occurred down at a mall in Miami, Florida, where hundreds, apparently, of out-of-control teenagers basically tried to ransack a mall in Miami, Florida. And as a result of it, the police mobilized, from what we understand, literally every law enforcement officer that they had in the Metro-Dade area for what was conceivably this massive riot and chaos that was going on, brought about by the behavior of these teenagers, or these youths, I guess we would call them. Whatever. Anyhow, basically, my understanding, and from what has come out in the news, is that what was going on was that there were these rather shady characters, I guess you would call them, were setting off fireworks and shooting things like Roman candles at innocent passersby, assaulting and menacing just innocent people all over. And there was some looting of stores going on as well. So I don't know if the fireworks were meant to be a distraction or what it was, but apparently it was a pretty chaotic scene. And for the people that were actually caught up in this, it was a pretty dicey little bit of time that things were going on, and people were justifiably concerned. I mean, imagine if you were caught in the middle of something like that. Not exactly something I would want to come across if I were out enjoying a New Year's Day stroll with my family, or even my friends, or heck, even if I was by myself. I mean, who wants to come upon a bunch of psychos that are shooting off fireworks and pushing and shoving people for no reason, and, heaven forbid, looting stores? I mean, where I come from, that's just not right. So, but why that's part of the realm of the unexplained is that as that was going on, there were all of these reports coming out of there being sightings of 10-foot tall aliens and shadow beings and all of these other crazy and bizarre things that would fall into the realm of, well, what we would call the paranormal or the supernatural. Now, many of you know that I certainly obviously have a belief in some of these things. I do believe that there is life elsewhere in the universe, and for all we know, some of that life may even be here right now and has visited us in the past. We're hearing a lot of claims and some great anecdotal evidence that would seem to support some of that. And as many of you know, I personally have had my own experience and encounter with a shadow being before. But in this particular instance, there has been, that doesn't seem to pass the, what they call the good old-fashioned smell test for me. I don't know if I can believe such things at face value, just as I wouldn't expect anybody to believe my own experiences at face value. And that's kind of part of the territory that comes along with these kind of topics. But there were these video images that were shot by some people that they were trying to pass off as being these 10-foot tall aliens. And I'm guessing probably trying to, sneak in the same way that that extraordinary claim last year in 2023 coming out of Las Vegas, where there was the same kind of thing, where there was apparently this, UFO or some other that landed in a neighborhood in a suburb of Las Vegas, and the homeowners actually, called 911 and reported that there was, these, again, like really tall alien creatures roaming around their backyard. And again, I'm not here to pass judgment. I'm not here to say that it did or didn't happen. I'm just saying, for me, I need a little bit more evidence, me personally, because unfortunately, this particular topic is fraught with people that want to make all kinds of extraordinary claims that simply cannot be substantiated in any way, shape, or form. And that's not to say that, if you're an experiencer, that things didn't happen, because the very nature of some of these things is very solitary. Like my encounter with a shadow being. I don't have any video recording of it. I don't have anything other than what I actually experienced. And if there were people that actually face-to-face saw these things down in Miami, well, then that's a different story, isn't it? And I have heard no reports of that specific thing, just these claims of, oh, check out the video. Well, the video is blurry and doesn't really show me a damn thing. But, again, that's just my observation. So that's one of the big things, and that's how we started January. It's how we started off 2024, is with this kind of rather bizarre incident down in Miami, Florida. So whatever your thoughts are on that, please feel free to chime in on our Facebook page or right here in the comments below. So the next one is in fact, coming up in 2 days from now, on the 12th of January, there's going to be a SCIF meeting. And of course, anybody that doesn't know, a SCIF is a very secure location within the United States Capitol where people can go to talk about highly classified and confidential information without fear of having their conversation being recorded or tapped into in any way, shape, or form by any kind of electronic surveillance. So we've been told for a long time that David Grush, whistleblower David Grush, has wanted to go and meet with several members of Congress in a SCIF so that he can give them some of the details that he's been able to give to the ICIG, or the Intelligence Community Inspector General. Well, coming up on this Friday, January 12th, one of those SCIF meetings is finally taking place. Now, as far as we know, David Grush is not going to be there, but if I'm not mistaken, the ICIG, the Inspector General for the Intelligence Community, is going to be there, obviously providing that information to members of Congress. Now, what we hope is that the members of Congress that are going to be there are the actual representatives and or senators themselves, and not their aides, because quite obviously there's been lots of reports of how some of this information has been shared with the staffers and aides of members of Congress, and just it's not been passed down to the actual representative or senator. So hopefully there will be something useful that comes out of this. Now, I don't expect us to get any specifics of what takes place in this meeting, because after all, the information that's going to be shared in this is classified. It is probably of the nature of top secret, if not greater than that. Again, forgive me, I don't understand military secret classifications other than the simple terms of top secret and above top secret, if there even is such a classification as above top secret. I honestly don't know. But I wouldn't expect an awful lot of information to come out of that meeting that's going to trickle down to the public, other than maybe hopefully it will help to convince some of the members of the House of Representatives or the Senate, whoever it is that they're meeting with. If they're kind of on the fence about the whole thing, hopefully this will provide some more context and greater detail as far as the information that they are going to be given in this meeting coming up on Friday. So I do expect we're going to get some kind of a report from it. But as far as specific details, don't hold your breath. I don't think we're going to get that unless that kind of information actually gets cleared to be released to people like me and you. So that's another big thing coming up, and that's, again, in 2 days on January 12th. So keep your ears and eyes out for that. And then, of course, the next one just actually became a news item late last night on January 9th. And of course, that would be what is now being termed as the Jellyfish UAP or the Jellyfish UFO. And of course, this was released by investigative journalist Jeremy Corbell, who of course runs the really cool Weaponized podcast with George Knapp. And whether you like Jeremy Corbell or not, and I know that he's a rather polarizing figure, and I'm not going to tell you one way or the other whether you should believe him, but just simply looking at his recent track record of videos that he has released via his Weaponized podcast, for instance, the metallic orb video that he showed well before, at least that I'm aware of, any members of Congress showed to the public. So Jeremy Corbell's track record, and particularly George Knapp as well, they tend to really do a fairly good job at vetting their sources. Now, that's not to say that they still can't make mistakes or that the sources that send them things couldn't be, inaccurate as well. But I kind of, with this particular video, I tend to err on the side of it being more in the authentic realm than being a something that's, big to do about nothing. I will admit I've seen the video. Now I've only seen I don't even think it's a 7-minute video. Allegedly, this video shows this particular object, which to me doesn't so much look like a jellyfish. If you're a Star Wars fan like me, you're looking at that and you're going, that is the Imperial probe droid used on the planet Hoth in The Empire Strikes Back. Because I don't know about the rest of you, but that's what it looks like to me. So, but still a very unique looking. We've heard reports in the past of there being objects that kind of have that kind of a shape to them that don't really fit the standard disc shape or orb shaped craft that we are so typically used to hearing and seeing reports about. But it's really fascinating to watch. It's clearly, whatever it is, it does not appear to be a smudge on the camera lens, if for no other reason from the fact that this thing, the perspective changes multiple times, and the distance seems to change multiple times throughout the footage. And it just doesn't strike me as being a smudge like some bird shit or something like that that got on the lens of the camera that was filming it. Now, again, I'm not an expert on the subject. I can just simply tell you what I've seen with my own 2 eyes, and that's just kind of the way it looks to me, is that it's not a smudge. It looks to be some actual kind of physical object that is being tracked. Now, my understanding is that the image itself was filmed with a thermal imaging, and that it did not appear that the little bit of background on it. It was filmed in 2018 at a military base in Iraq, and my understanding is that it happened at nighttime. So, interesting note about it is that apparently the object was not visible to the naked eye to any of the personnel that were staffed on the base at the time, and it also did not show up on night vision. And that apparently comes from multiple sources from military personnel that were at this particular base in Iraq. So the only way that this was viewed was via thermal imaging. And there's been some people that have been saying, well, there's a possibility it could be some kind of digital artifact of some kind. But again, I'm no expert on it. I'm just simply offering my personal uneducated, uninformed, opinion of what I saw. And it looks to me like it is an actual physical object. The shape of it is just unlike anything I've ever seen before, except in, science fiction movies. But it's pretty compelling video. If you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend it. Jeremy Corbell does have a YouTube channel, and I'm sure it's going to become the subject of one of their Weaponized podcasts, probably in the very near future. There's also plenty of great reports of it on there on YouTube, on the News Nation channel. If you happen to subscribe to News Nation, they do a really good job of covering all this UAP stuff. So give that a look. But very, very a very, how shall I say, busy 2 weeks. First 2 weeks of January, first 2 weeks of 2024. We've already got all kinds of cool stuff that has been in the news cycle. If you happen to be somebody that follows information regarding UAPs or UFOs and things of that nature. In regards to Skinwalker Ranch, Thomas Winterton posted recently that they've been installing some new cameras and new sensor equipment on the ranch, which I think is exciting because there's all kinds of new stuff coming out there. Really looking forward to season 5 of The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, which, again, pure speculation on my part, is probably going to air sometime in the spring. My guess would be late April, early May timeframe, but you never know. It's all up to the History Channel, I guess. But season 5 is coming, and I think it's going to be awesome. And again, if you haven't signed up for the Skinwalker Ranch Insider, then I do recommend, and I endorse that completely and fully, as does Roger. And you can find out more about that by going to skinwalker-ranch.com. /insider, I believe, is the actual URL. But it's a pretty great deal. It's you can try it out for free for a week. And if you want to remain a member after that, you can go either with a monthly subscription, which is only $10 a month, and that's what I do. Being a musician, I kind of have to be careful of things like that, so I went with a monthly option instead of the yearly subscription. But if you sign up for the yearly subscription, you actually get a really cool T-shirt that is exclusive to people that sign up for that yearly membership of Insider. It is honestly, folks, one of the best investments I've ever made, and you get access to all kinds of cool data, and you get to be a part of the Insider community, which is really, truthfully, one of the best online communities I have ever been a part of. And I've made some really fantastic friends and associations via the Skinwalker Ranch Insider program. So again, can't say enough good things about that. So that does it, folks. That pretty much recaps everything that that I'm aware of going on right now in the world of the unexplained. Unless somebody can look into their crystal ball and tell me who the Raiders are going to choose as their head coach next season. I'm kind of hoping they stay with Antonio Pierce, but we are talking about the Raiders here, so who knows what they're going to end up doing. But at any rate, you guys know I'm a huge football fan. I'm looking forward to Wild Card Weekend this Saturday. Go Bills! Of course, I got to cheer for my Buffalo Bills because I'm a New Yorker by birth, born and raised in the great state of New York. And actually, believe it or not, I lived in the Buffalo area for a short period of time. So even though the Raiders are my team, I got to support my Western New York peeps and show some love to the Buffalo Bills. So at any rate, whoever wins, I'm looking forward to Wild Card Weekend. And those of you that are not football fans, regardless, I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. If you like the content that we've had so far on our channel and the episodes we have on our podcast, then please feel free to subscribe down here on our YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe link. And if you want notifications of whenever we post new content, then hit that notification bell as well. And show us some love. We hope you guys enjoy the content. And pretty amazing that we're going to be ending this before the 20-minute mark. I think that might be a new record. Anyhow, folks, hope you guys are doing awesome. Stay warm. For those of you that are being hit with some of this ugly winter weather, it's currently snowing like crazy here in Utah, and we're getting some cold weather. And I know they're getting that all across the Midwest and the eastern states as well. So stay safe, stay warm, and Roger and I will see you soon with a new episode of The Soul of the Unexplained. See ya, folks. See ya.